I've been writing this album since my last one. So I was telling Sway that, like, not Sway in the morning. What's Sway? Sway Day. Sway. I was telling him that like Ignorantro and all the photos and all, because he said, he was like, did you use like post production on that like VHS stuff, or was that like a super, or not the VHS stuff, but the 8mm? Did you use a real Super 8? And I was like, dude, we shot that in film. And he was like, dude, that's sick. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, what filter you use? You're like, film. And so, but we did that stuff for photographers. Like, and so I kind of wanted to just put out information, put out our artwork a little at a time, because we spent a lot of time on the little pieces. And, you know, and just kind of show everyone that, like, you don't have to get everything microwaved all in 1 second, because that's how they'll eat your album. They'll eat it really fast and then go to the next one, because people rip it apart, you know. And it's like, you understand, like, oh, I didn't like this, they did this. And sometimes like people will interpret what you did on your music and they'll just rip it apart, like either it was wrong or this is not how you do this. And you're just like, oh my gosh, like I wrote that like in my room and I was really depressed, and like now these 40 people are ripping it apart and calling me names on comment threads, and this is like how I felt, and I wanted to like kill myself, but they think it's a metaphor. So, you know, that's kind of I put a lot of my heart into this project. And I mean, I got thicker skin now, like, you know, over time, you know, you just gather thicker skin, but it's this is a really personal project to me, and it's not for any like agenda or anything. It's not necessarily certain emotions that were attached particularly to this project. I mean, this project was in a time span where I got signed to a label, I moved away from home, it's in a different environment. But, you know, things, I mean, and the project isn't like, it's not a morose, like, you know, it's not depressing. It's just like, this is what my life was between this time and this time. Just like my previous project, LBNV, that was the stuff that happened between that. I went to Egypt, I got to go on a missions trip, I came back, and that was what happened when I was writing that album. And so I think that, I guess the concept of the album, like, is what it is, but it's like my life in a gospel center, like living out the gospel in life and the ups and downs of life. It's just inside of a metaphor, but all of the content is personal, just because that's how the timeline of life went. Like, I try to write like in life, you know, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, and so something could happen tomorrow that's like, oh my gosh, and then like, man, I feel this way, I'm gonna write about it, you know. So that's why it was personal, I guess, because it was just specifically in life, or, you know, you go through depression or triumph, or, you know, and it doesn't have to be as extreme as like, oh, suicide. But, you know, I've written songs where I had like suicidal thoughts and I wrote a song about it, you know, or wrote a line about it or something like that. Or I was fed up and I don't have any, like, I'm broke, I don't have any money. Or, man, I just got a bunch of money, like, I just got a new car, like, dude, I'm happy. Or like, wow, like this, you know, it's just life and living with the Lord, and then expressing it on some raps.